All right, everybody. Welcome to episode 304 of Psykos, Platters, always powered by coffee each and every time. So I promised I was going to do this, and I meant I was going to do this. So we got ourselves a new music review episode from one of my favorite, they've been around since 1973, but to me they're one of my favorite 80s bands. AC/DC! That's right, everybody. AC/DC's new album, Power Up, came out yesterday, Friday the 13th of November in 2020. Thank God for new music from AC/DC in 2020. Let me show you here something before I get into all the stats. Of course, the booklet looks like this. What's without Angus and his devil horns, right? 12 tracks on this album. 12 tracks. And we'll talk about why, in my opinion, I think that this is a miracle this album was ever made. And so very grateful of it. And to finish off with them in a silhouette. So, alright. So like I said, this came out November 13th, 2020. First album that they've done since Rock or Bust, which came out in November 2014. So as I said, truth, I'm surprised that this album ever was made, but I'm so grateful for it. Back when the Rock or Bust tour came out, Phil Rudd, the drummer, could not perform on tour due to legalities in his homeland of Australia. Brian Johnson had to leave toward the end of the tour as a result of a hearing loss, not from music, but due to his other passion, his hobby for racing, race cars. I've seen a couple little clips of him dealing with racing, and I think it's pretty damn cool, truthfully. So the last 10 tour dates were rescheduled, and Axl Rose from Guns N' Roses, of all people, went off and finished the fulfillment of those dates. I remember people were going crazy on the rock music media. Some of the AC/DC fans were up in arms. And I'm just going to throw out there this, okay? I got it. I understood it was business. It was just business. The 10 dates, and Angus said this in an interview. He said if we didn't fulfill the 10 dates, it's a possibility they could have got sued. Okay? And so I get it. It needed to be finished. And if you've seen any of the YouTube clips with Axl singing AC/DC stuff in the concerts, and Chris Slade being on drums for that whole tour, which of course he was on the Razor's Edge album in '90, it was actually pretty damn good. There was some surprising stuff in the set list. And then after the tour, bassist Cliff Williams also retired. Okay, and Cliff's been there since the Highway to Hell album, and so he's been a mainstay. And so the only ones that were really left were Angus and Steve Young, who is also a relative, but he was replacement for Malcolm Young. And so when they went off, Malcolm goes and passes away in November 2017, even though he retired from the band in 2014 due to health issues, but mainly dementia. So it was a surprise when I remember seeing pictures, I think it was like in late 2018, of some of the band members. I'm going, wait a minute, what's up? I'm going, huh. And then I remember reading reports about Brian, a uber AC/DC fan who also happened to work in, I don't want to say hearing aid technology, that might be right, but was able to create something that could get Brian back to singing again. And lo and behold, it worked. And, I'm grateful for that. Very, very grateful. So, alright. So, like I said, Power Up was recorded in August, September of 2018 and early 2019 for touch-ups. The first single, Shot in the Dark, came out October 7th. The second single, Realize, came out November 11th. Every song on this album was credited to Angus and Malcolm Young because Angus visited to the band's vault for previously unreleased songs, snippets of songs and such. And I'm not going to lie to you, okay? Truthfully, I like this album a lot better than Rock or Bust. I don't know what it is about Rock or Bust. There was a couple good songs on there, but I didn't like most of that album. I can't say that about this album, alright? Truthfully, I wrote this down. My favorite tracks after repeated listenings on this are Realize, Rejection, Shot in the Dark, Systems Down, Money Shot, and Code Red. And then there's 4 other really good ones, and in my opinion, 2 clunkers, okay? But that's pretty good out of a 12-track CD, alright? My only complaint, and it has nothing to do with the band, but I'm telling you this, you know, I try to get all my new material from brick and mortar stores, alright? It's getting incredibly difficult to get this stuff, okay? And I'm like, I'll give you the price points now. This copy here that I happen to have, if it wasn't for my son, because I reached out to him, you know, when he was at work, I'm like, hey, can you see if you can find a copy of this? Because Target is normally my go-to now, because Walmart really, there's almost no CDs. Walmart has taken out just about everything, and Target's almost about ready to do that too. So music fans, AC/DC and the like, be prepared sometime in 2021. I think they're forcing everybody to go online music search. I don't want to do it, but that's what it is. So this copy here that I have is the only one in my town. It was the only copy, the regular copy in town, and it was like $9 to get this. Target wanted 12, Target had none. I don't know if Target didn't get any. I tried to ask people, they didn't know. They just have the $46 deluxe set, which I could care less if it's in a speaker and it lights up. I'm not into tricks and stuff like that, okay? I mean, it's neat for the uber AC/DC fans. I remember that one box set that came in the speaker that actually worked. I thought that was pretty nifty, to tell you the honest truth, but I still couldn't afford it. So you can get this if you can, and it should be in, like I said, Walmart's selling it for about, you know, $9, $10. Target's selling it too, supposedly, but it's like $11 to $12. Vinyl was released for this, but I have seen it anywhere from $32 to $36. To me, that's a little steep, but I know there's pressing plant issues going on for vinyl right now, so I don't know if that's part of the price justification, or are they figuring maybe they're not AC/DC, but the vinyl companies are gouging fans. This was put out again on Columbia Records, by the way, in case I didn't mention that. I know I've been slightly tangent. But what I'm getting in my long-winded review, go get this damn album if you are an AC/DC fan. This is welcomed music to our ears, especially in this weird time of what we're going through. You know, this crisis, as people call it. We need relief, and concerts too. Hopefully, concerts will come back. But go get this AC/DC Power Up. You will not be sorry. So I want to leave you with one thing in the comments, okay? Put this down in the comments. If you're an AC/DC fan, what is your favorite song or album? Or tell me of an AC/DC concert story. I personally got turned on to AC/DC. I remember the first album I bought was Highway to Hell, and I think my mother even gave me weird looks. I bought that and hit 12 years old when it was new, and I'm like, there's just some good stuff on here, Ma, trust me, even if he does have the devil horns, and who cares? You know, that's what I said back then anyway. And I remember Little Bits of Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap from '76. So I mean, I remember hearing that bit, but like I said, Highway to Hell was the first AC/DC album that I got. I love the Bon era. The Bon era is probably always going to be king to me, but for Brian, you know, Back in Black, For Those About to Rock, just, you know, Razor's Edge. There's a few good albums that I really like. To me, this has always been enjoyable 3-chord riff music. There's nothing wrong with that. Alright, I'll shut up. Go buy this now. Take care.